Hey Food Bras, we have a very special episode for you today. We are going to compare the two Taco Kings, Del Taco versus Taco Bell, and see how they add up. What we're going to compare is the thing I've been complaining about, and now I'm going to show you the science. Is their tacos and the size of said tacos. So here's Taco Bell. Here's Del Taco. Nice packaging. First, Taco Bell. Kind of wimpy. Of course, it's ultra soggy and it's completely ripped down the belly. And a lot of your toppings just fall right out. Gross. Del Taco. A little bit bigger, filled to the brim. No sogginess, no disgustingness. Pretty amazing. What tests are we gonna do? Right here, guys. Scientific. We're gonna measure all the toppings to tell you who's got the value. All right, we got this thing dialed in on ounces. And we'll zero out the tray. We're gonna measure this in ounces. We've zeroed out the tray. All right, we're gonna take apart the taco here. The first thing I'm gonna measure is Taco Bell's sneeze of cheese that they consider cheese. Barely any cheese on it. But we'll scrape it and we'll see how many ounces of cheese we actually have. Hopefully it even registers because it's not a lot. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, first measurement, 0.11 ounces of cheese. Wow, 0.11 ounce cheese. Not looking good for Taco Bell so far. Cleaning off our tray here, make sure there's no cheese. The next thing we're gonna measure is how much meat. This taco, good for Taco Bell. It's got a little bit more meat than I normally get. So we'll see how much meat it is. Exactly 1 ounce of meat. Could not make that up if I wanted to. The last thing that we're gonna measure is the shell. The shell weighs a whopping 0.84 ounces. The shell is exactly 5 3/4 in length. So 5.75 inches long. And it is exactly 2 3/4 tall. Make sure our scale's back to 0, and it is. Now we're gonna see some action, hopefully. The Del Taco. Let's get all that beautiful cheese separated from the meat. This is cooled off quite a bit too, so it's a little bit more difficult. Separating as much meat as I can. All right, cheese. 1.04 ounces. That is damn near, that is exactly 1.07 ounces more than Taco Bell. So Taco Bell virtually has no cheese. Make sure our tray is back to 0, back to 0. Now we're gonna measure the meat. This is actually surprising. They do use exactly 1.01 ounces of meat. Now granted, this Taco Bell outing is yielding more meat than I get on average. So that I would consider this the absolute most amount of meat you're gonna get on it. So, you know, it's about as good as Taco Bell gets. This is pretty average for Del Taco, I think. Make sure that zeroes back out. All right. Now we're gonna measure the shell. The shell is 0.93 ounces. Let's take the length measurement and height. This shell is 6 1/4 inches long, and the height of this shell is safe to call it 2 3/4. I'm gonna warm these up and eat them, and then we'll do a taste test, I guess. Now, this thing's already gotten completely flimsy, and I have to eat it upside down because it has ripped down the belly. All right, so what do you taste when you taste Taco Bell? Even though these have both been reheated, typically the shell on Taco Bell will often be kind of stale and definitely soggy at the bottom and ripping down the belly. The meat is pretty good. You know, it's got a Mexican flavor to it. Oh, look at that right there. I open this up. There's so much cheese. I'm getting cheese pull on this, which they advertise on Taco Bell, funny enough, all the time, and pizza places. Let's add the Del Scorcho, which is Del Taco's medium sauce. Now this shell has been beaten as bad as it can by reheating it. Still not ripping at the bottom because it's not full of water and meat filling, which Taco Bell uses. They don't use 100% meat. They use meat filling. All right, let's take a taste of this. As you notice, I'm doing cheese pulls all day. Look at that. Look at that. That, my friends, is cheese. You'll never get that with Taco Bell. The quality of their cheese, even if you got that much cheese, I highly doubt you're going to get a cheese pull that well. Why? Del Taco uses high quality cheese. Real cheese. Not, some processed something or other. And they freshly grate it on the daily. Huge, noticeable quality difference. The meat tastes like beautifully seasoned meat that's not overly processed tasting. The shell is fantastic. The meat, even being reheated, is not even that greasy. All I have to say, absolutely fantastic. That is just delicious. We'll also finish the Taco Bell too. Switching back to this, the meat punches you in the face with this over-seasoned beef. It has flavor. It's almost like the lack in quality is being overcompensated with the seasonings. So let's go over our notes. So here's all the numbers. Taco Bell only has 0.11 ounces of cheese. Del Taco has 1.04 ounces of cheese. Taco Bell has 1 ounce of meat. Del Taco has 1.101 ounces of meat. Taco Bell's shell weighs 0.84 ounces. Del Taco shell weighs 0.93 ounces. Taco Bell's dimensions are 5.75 length, 2.75 tall. Del Taco is 6.25 length, 2.75 tall. When you total all that up, you get 1.98 total ounces from Taco Bell. Del Taco, you get 2.98 total ounces of all the toppings. Taco Bell costs $1.99 for a taco. Del Taco costs $2.19. And I always thought Del Taco tacos were cheaper, but I was wrong. So what does that break down to? Well, Taco Bell is 98 cents per ounce, whereas at Del Taco, you're only paying 73 cents per ounce. Now, here's some funny things. Even though Del Taco is 65% bigger than Taco Bell, as far as more ounces of toppings and the shell's bigger, it's still, even though it's more expensive, 25% cheaper than Taco Bell because of the extra quantity you're getting. That's pretty amazing. The true value here is Del Taco. And I'll tell you, on top of that, you may have noticed that I got my tacos without lettuce because I don't like it. And Del Taco actually comes with tomato if you desire. No additional charge. So you say, oh, well, Taco Bell, you can add toppings. Well, if you want to add tomatoes, it's 65 cents to add tomatoes to one taco. Now, if you want to try to get some more cheese on there, and I've done this before and I'll never do it again, but I've paid the 55 cents for additional cheese on a Taco Bell taco, and they gave me, I swear, almost less cheese. Barely any more. And, if you add those two up, that makes Taco Bell's tacos $1.20 extra on top of their $1.99 price, coming at $3.19 for their taco now, compared to Del Taco's $2.19, making Taco Bell $1 more. And I can almost promise you that the Del Taco will still be bigger, even if you put those extra toppings on. And even though it costs $1 more, it is absolute highway robbery.